There's a big question today on the Spurs-related YouTube channel. Will Spurs always be Spursy? Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone's doing very well today. Today, we are discussing, are Spurs still a team that has that bottling sort of mentality where, we think we're going to get so far and we don't? Or has Ange Postecoglou changed us? And I guess the reason for this talking point is some people are saying, Spurs have bottled the league. Spurs have bottled the momentum on Monday after losing their heads against Chelsea. And obviously, we haven't spoken about it on the channel since then. So we thought we'd bring you a little bit of a video with myself and Wacko Jacko from Wacko Jacko Land. he hates it when I do that. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Firstly, as you know, we haven't been very active, and I want to apologize for that. But life gets in the way, but we really do want to still bring you guys the content. We love all the feedback. We love all the comments. So please do get yourself back in those comments section. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know your thoughts on the game on Monday and your thoughts on this talking point on this video, and smash a like where you're there and subscribe. But Jack, as I said, Wacko Jacko, how are you doing, mate? You were there on Monday. You saw the chaos unfold. The vlog did go live. Talk to me.
I'll tell you what, James, I said in the vlog, check it out if you haven't already. There's always some fun parts, even though we know the result was not what we wanted or we expected, really. But no, I'm still proud of the team. I've said on multiple occasions, I think at the end of the game, the fans gave a standing ovation, and we're just proud of what really we showed with 9 men. We played that incredibly high line, always looked like we could get that equaliser. We thought we had it when Eric Dyer rifled one in the top corner, but it wasn't to be. But that's why the title of the video today is, do Spurs deserve the Spursy stigma? Or are Spurs still Spursy? Because it feels like something might have changed. Some people might disagree. Some might think there is a new mentality with Postecoglou coming in, and that's why we're going to dive into it.
Let's dive into it, Jack. Exactly that. Let's talk about the couple of different segments in this and breaking it down a little bit in terms of, obviously, Monday night. We put up a fight with 9 men. We really did. We did ourselves proud. I hate to be this happy clapper kind of, let's pretend everything's not gone bad. Everything pretty much that could have gone wrong nearly did go wrong on Monday. 4 of our 5 best players, 5 or 6 best players got injured or suspended. Romero suspended for 3 games. Udogie suspended for 1 game. Maddison probably out for a couple of weeks, maybe. And we don't know the extent of Van der Ven's hamstring injury yet. Hopefully not as bad as maybe we first thought. It looks like he won't need surgery. But, Jack, take us away. Take us through what you're thinking.
So we're going to start this off with the question that's popping up now. How similar is Tottenham's 15 to 16, 16 to 17 squad to our current team? The reason why I ask this is, for me, there is quite a similar feel, James. Like, we were both at the top end of the table. We were both fighting really for top 4, but we're kind of in that title conversation. I know it's only been 10 games, but I feel like it's important to address this because if you haven't watched it, I suggest you do. There was a podcast on the official Tottenham channel with Danny Rose talking about the 15 to 16, 16 to 17 squad and talking about the mentality. And Danny Rose said a lot of the players, including himself, when he came in, he was quite young, and he said, do we think we can get top 4? And they would be first or second in the league. But Eric Lamela, someone who come in, was like, are you joking? Like, we're going to win the league. And it feels like there was a real split in where the ambitions were. It kind of wasn't a collective, James. So I'm kind of interested to ask you and everyone in the comments here, do we believe this Tottenham squad right now, which bear in mind is very young, it's kind of fresh players coming in, do they think that top 4 is the aim? Or do you think they're already looking at, let's win the title? We've started off on fire. We was unbeaten before Chelsea.
I don't think they're thinking about the title, but I mean, you look at the mindset of the players, you look at the manager, and Ange has been asked about our Tottenham's title challenges when we were 10 games unbeaten, and he said, "Let the fans dream."
Mm.
You know, dreaming costs nothing. I think his words were. So, you know, the mentality won't be, "Oh, we're in the title mix." It will very much be, you know, focus on the next game. Let's see where we are when we're 25, 30 games in. Now we're 11 games in. It's a different story to 10 games in. We're suddenly not being said as a title challenger because we completely lost our we lost our heads against
Mm.
Chelsea. And so I think the aim will be top 4, to be honest with you. But linking it to that season, I don't think the players will be sat there now thinking they can win the league. I think it's a different league since
They
15,
believe
16.
though, James. Just going back to kind of the interview, do you think the 15 to 16, 16 to 17 squad even believe they could win the league? Because you had the likes of Lamella, who was brought in for a big fee, saying we're gonna win it. But you had the likes of Danny Rose, who, bear in mind, was one of our best players in that season, kind of thinking, "Oh, like, do you think we can even get top 4?"
I think the Premier League's very different to then, because when that year Leicester won the league, no team was good. I mean, Man City had a blip year. Liverpool had a very blip year. I think that was when they were changing to Klopp.
But do you not
Chelsea
think it's
were.
worrying? Do you think the players believed? I know, like the team, us as fans, we could see that Man City weren't up to scratch. Chelsea at the time weren't up to scratch. It was kind of us or Leicester. We kind of finished third in a 2-horse race. Because for me, listening to that interview, some players believed, but as a collective, even though Leicester were the team above us, who were nearly relegated the season before, no one really believed we would win the league, even though we were probably in the best position to do so.
Yeah. Well, I actually thought up until we had that blip in, say, March, April, I thought we were going to win the league. I really, every single day, I mean, I'll be honest, that probably a few of my mates are watching this. I thought Tottenham were going to win the league when that season with Leicester, because I thought Leicester wouldn't have the stamina to keep going throughout the whole season. They proved everyone wrong, and I don't think we're going to have a season ever again like that, just because we do have these gigantic forces in the likes of a Man City, even Liverpool when they get going, and even, hate to say it, Arsenal now, where there's really, really backed teams with insane depth. You know, Man City's bench gets into our first team, a lot of them, you know, so it's just a very different league now. I know it is more about the mentality. I understand the question, Jack, but I think it's just, I think the players then, I'm surprised Danny Rose admitted saying that it was top 4 and Lamella came in and thought we would win it, because I was more like a Lamella. I thought we could win the league that year. But this
Yeah.
year, I don't think we'll win the league. I
Do
don't
the
even think
players
we'll get top
believe-
3, Jack, to be honest. I don't even think we'll get,
Really?
probably won't get top 4, but, you know, I don't want to be too negative yet.
Nah. Let's not. I wouldn't go as far as that yet, but you know me, I'm optimistic Jacko sometimes. So let's move on.
Wacko.
Let's move on. Yeah, okay. Loves the banter, James. Right, is this renovated Spurs team key to our recent success? We've seen the amount of changes coming in. Basuma, brand new signing. Maddison coming in, probably been the best player in the Premier League this season, if I'm being honest. Mickey Van der Ven now being injured. Do you think it's kind of the fresh players, or do you think it's the style of football? For me, I think it's a mixture of the two.
Yeah, mixture of the two. It's good to have new faces. And although I'm going to completely contradict what I'm about to say to start with, getting rid of the likes of Eric Dyer out of that first team with the same sort of stale mentality, sort of turning up, not really having his heart in his sleeve, but then take him out of the team for a few games. He comes on and he's that's the most passionate Eric Dyer performance I've seen for about 5 years, to be honest with you, Jack. He looked like he wanted to be there. He was trying to prove a point that he should be there. But unfortunately, because he knew he was going to be in that team every week under Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, because we had no one else, he got complacent. He lost that passion within him, and he lacked that fight. Whereas you take him out of the team, put him under extreme circumstances where he has to come on when we've got 10 men, right? And he's suddenly incredible. even at 9 men, scores an equaliser just offside. You know, if that went in and that was onside, we'd be saying Eric Dyer's back and everything. I mean, some people already are. I still think he's not good enough, personally.
Okay, let me
But
flip this
could we
question to
have
you,
him?
James, and I'll flip it to everyone watching. Do you think the problem was Tottenham's players like Eric Dyer, so Ben Davies kind of being there too long and not being good enough? Or do you think it was almost the lack of squad depth and the lack of competition that allowed them to let their level slip?
Both, to be honest with you. You pretty much just merged what my answer was. Like, Eric Dyer got complacent because there was no squad depth. He knew he would be in that 11 every single week in, week out. And the fact that there was those same players that knew they were also going to be in the midst. Look at, like, even 18 months ago, Jack, our midfield was Ollie Skip and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Højbjerg hasn't been playing, comes on. Unbelievable.
Fantastic.
And I think that a lot of that is probably renovated by the fact that a new manager has come in Ange Postecoglou. He wants the players to play a certain way, and he wants them to fight when they get the chance. And Eric Dyer and Højbjerg, I think they did themselves very proud on Monday when they came on. Very proud.
Definitely. And I would agree with your point. I think that Eric Dyer, for me, he probably isn't suited to this high line, and he probably isn't good, definitely not good enough to start. But because he's a man that fights, he's a guy that's always training hard. That's what Postecoglou's come out and said, alongside Højbjerg and Ben Davies. But I feel like he's someone who's going to really die for the badge almost. Someone who's going to step in, especially Højbjerg. I think Højbjerg's been absolutely fantastic, and I don't think anyone can argue with that. When Basuma's come off when he's tired or when he's been suspended, Højbjerg has come in and done a fantastic job. So that fresh feel, that competition for places should definitely not be underestimated. And I think that moves us on nicely to our next question, James. So this is I'm going to branch out on the question as well. So I'll start off with the high line, James. Will Tottenham's high line suffer in our next 3 fixtures? We're playing Wolves on Saturday, then we're playing against a fantastic counter-attacking side in Aston Villa, and then we're probably playing the best team in Europe, the champions of the world right now in Manchester City.
I mean, one thing's for sure, we won't be suffering as much as we did on Monday with 9 men. That high line was as high as the halfway line, which was absolutely ridiculous. I'd never seen anything like it in any other Premier League game I've ever watched in the best part of, a couple decades. I've never ever seen such an awful but amazing thing to watch. It was awful to watch because we knew Chelsea were eventually going to break it, but it was incredible because I'd never ever seen it before, right? I'd never seen a team push up to the halfway line to try and make sure the Chelsea were offside. I mean, there must be a stat. Chelsea had so many offsides. Poch was getting frustrated, wasn't he? But to stick to the question, Jack, I think Ashley Phillips is going to probably be coming in, and I think Alfie Dorrington will be on the bench. Both very quick.
Do you think he'll start, or do you think he's going to come into the squad?
I think
no Romero, no Van de Ven. So that means you're either playing Emerson Royale in his unnatural position, like he did against Chelsea.
Yeah, or Højbjerg. But surely you play I'd play Eric Dyer and Ashley Phillips, but even that is just, it scares the absolute daylights out of me. What? But Emerson Royale at right centre back, Dyer at left centre back. I mean, or Ben Davies left centre back. I mean, it's just, I still don't know what's going to happen. If I was the manager, which I'm obviously not, I would be playing either Ashley Phillips or Alfie Dorrington because they're progressive centre backs. They can play a high line and they're quick and they've got a turn of pace that they can get back and clear up like Van de Ven does. Not quite as well, but they're very, very good players. They play at international level, England under 18s and 19s. They're very good players. Why not give them a chance? This is the perfect opportunity, Jack. I watched your interview with Sean after the game on his channel. You said this is the chance for maybe the youth to prove that they're able to step in at times like this. So why not? But I'd rather play them than play the likes of a Højbjerg at centre back. He's like 5'10". Is he?
Yeah, Højbjerg. I know what you mean. He's deceptively.
Doesn't look it though.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I've just done an Andre, so Andre will rid me for this. But I genuinely thought Højbjerg wasn't 6 foot. He doesn't look it. But my point is, he just doesn't seem like a centre back. He's not built like a centre back, and he isn't a centre back. It's like playing. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but you wouldn't want to even play like a. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my
You
head.
want
But
someone in their unnatural position, would you? You want him who plays CDM, does fantastically well there this year, to be in
exactly.
totally.
I'm worried for these next 3 fixtures, Jack. Just to
Mm.
take your question a little bit south, I'm very worried about these fixtures. I've gone from being so confident about Tottenham. I even was tweeting before the Chelsea game that I've never been so confident for a Tottenham-Chelsea game. I got absolute egg on my face to the point where I was getting absolutely slaughtered by Chelsea and Arsenal fans on Twitter. I think my tweet got something ridiculous 1,000 engagements because I was getting ribbed, Jack. I was getting absolutely rinsed, right?
Mm.
And now I'm very, very, very nervous for the next few games. Very nervous.
Let's finish it off with this. So I'll ask 2 questions. I'll ask, what is a good point score against, in my opinion, a fantastic counter-attacking side in Aston Villa, who have been on fire this season. They had a blip against Nottingham Forest last week. You've got best team in the world in Manchester City, and then you've got a Wolves side that are very hit or miss with Gary O'Neill. I think for me, I'll start. I think we still need to be looking to get in the region of 4 to 6 points. I do, because I think we have to be beating Wolves. I think Aston Villa at home, with the crowd behind us, with still fantastic players who are hoping to be fit in James Maddison, Son, even Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski. You've got Sarr, who's been fantastic. Bentancur coming back from injury, who looks like he could still have the potential to be the player we know he is. I think we still need to be getting 6 points out of that game, James, and I still believe we can.
Villa at home, right? Wolves away, and Man City away. We're gonna lose at the Etihad. We just are. I understand we have got a good record in recent years, but and we're sort of the bogey team to Man City. But if you're going to be realistic here, Eric Dyer and potentially Ashley Phillips or Højbjerg or Emerson at centre back against Haaland, Jeremy Doku, who's ridiculously good and absolutely on fire, trying to play a high line with players that are slow in Davies or Dyer. It's just it's a nightmare waiting to happen. I think it could honestly get embarrassing in that game. I'll be honest. Villa at home, I could see us scraping a draw. And then Wolves away, I could see us scraping a win. I think we'll get 4 points. We should try and get 6. We should try and get 9, obviously, but we should hope we can get 6. I think we'll get 4, and I wouldn't even be surprised if we only get 3, mate. I really am terrified, especially if the news about Van der Ven, if he's going to miss some weeks, if he's going to miss all those games, if Maddison ends up missing a couple of those games, mate, we're looking at Lo Celso at number 10, right? We're looking at, like I said, Dyer at centre-back or Ashley Phillips or Dorrington. We're then looking at in the midfield and Udogie, left-back, out for a game, playing Ben Davies at left-back. Jack, it's a terrible, terrible team. It's gone from a very strong 11 to like if you picked up a completed jigsaw puzzle and you threw it on the floor and tried to pick up the pieces, it would take you a while. And you might find a corner piece that's the middle piece and put it in the wrong place, because that's exactly what's happening right now.
The only thing I would counteract that with, and I totally hear all your thoughts, because it's not the starting 11 we want. It's not the starting 11 that have been on fire since the opening game of the season. I'd say you've got players there who have been at Spurs for a while, the likes of Eric Dyer, the likes of Ben Davies, even the likes of Oliver Skipp, who's been training really well according to Ange Postecoglou. You've got players that really want to prove their worth, really, and you want players to feel valued, and this is the perfect opportunity for them. And this will nicely finish it off for me, is we will find out if Spurs are still Spursy, because at the end of the day, each Premier League team, James, has injuries, and it's about how you deal with it. And I think we're really going to find out, what is this Tottenham side made of? We're probably going to have Eric Dyer starting. We probably may even have Ashley Phillips starting, who's completely chucked in the deep end. And you're not going to have your first choice players. And for me, it feels like a different environment at Tottenham this season. It feels like, because of the completely renovated squad, it's a team that believes that they deserve to be at the upper end of the table. They've kind of got the bit between their teeth and believe they have to prove a point. And I feel like they genuinely believe that they deserve to be where they are currently. And that's why I don't think Spurs will have the Spursy stigma at the end of the season. I think we are. I think we're going to find a way to get through these next three games. And I'm counteracting what you're saying there, James, because I know you don't quite believe that, and you're probably really being sensible compared to previous games. But I think it's important that I voice that opinion.
Jack, I love your optimism, just to round things off. I love your optimism. I love the fact you think we're a different team, and we are to an extent. But
because of the environment, because of the way.
But Jack, part of this Spursy thing isn't just the mentality and being bottlers. Part of it is the fact that we haven't built the correct foundations to be a title challenging or even top 4 challenging, in my opinion, team. Because this was always going to happen. We were going to get injuries, not all in one game. We know that. It's very, very, very unfortunate. But we knew we were going to get the likes of a Maddison injured at some point, the likes of an Udogie out at some point. Even you look at the squad and the fringe, Richarlison's now out for months after having surgery on his pelvis, right? All these things mounting up, our injury and suspension list is in the double figures, Jack. Right? And this is why we're then having to look at Ben Davies at left back, Eric Dyer at centre back. Or are we going to play Emerson or Højbjerg out of position at the other centre back? Or are we going to bring in a 19-year-old centre back in Ashley Phillips and bring him in and have to play him at the Etihad? My point is, Jack, this Spursy thing isn't to do with just the mentality and what Ange Postecoglou is trying to change. It's to do with the foundations of the squad depth, and we do not have the squad depth. And that is why we will still be called Spursy, Jack, when we don't get 9 or 6 or maybe even 4 points against these next 3 games, because we are weakened and we're going to struggle. And that is the bottom line.
And I think that's a hook, line and sinker. And I think we'll let everyone else decide. And it's hard to disagree with what you're saying. We've seen it before, the lack of investment in times of need. It looks like you could be spot on. But I'm going to keep the faith. I believe in the team. I'm hoping the injuries aren't as bad. And we'll be sitting here in December saying, is this Spurs team different? Are we still going to be in the top 3? Time will tell. What a video. James, it's been a good one. You sign us off.
No, you sign us off, Jack. It's your video.
Oh, well, you're too kind. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed it. I really hope this Spurs side show it's a different team with Ange Postecoglou. Subscribe, hit the like button, let us know you've enjoyed it. It's been a good one, and we'll see you in the next one. But as always, James, come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs! And let us know, are you Team James or Team Jack? Do you think we're still Spursy, or do you think we've changed? Let us know in the comments. But as always, come on, you Spurs! Come on!